Imagine a car that doesn't need to plug into a charger. A vehicle that could drive endlessly, powered by energy you can access anywhere. Today, we're diving deep into Maxwell Chikumbutso's open-source car blueprint, a design so revolutionary it could disrupt the global energy industry forever. Maxwell isn't just building a car, he's challenging everything we thought we knew about electricity, engines, and sustainability. His concept flips the conventional electric vehicle industry on its head. While Tesla and other EV giants scramble to expand charging networks and battery production, Maxwell's design promises independence from the grid. This isn't just theory. The blueprint he released publicly shows a fully operational system that captures and stores energy in a way that's remarkably efficient. Every component is meticulously planned to ensure the vehicle not only moves, but sustains itself. And because it's open source, anyone with the technical know-how can replicate it. Maxwell isn't keeping this technology locked behind patents. He's handing the blueprint to the world. What makes this car extraordinary isn't just the technology, it's the philosophy behind it. Maxwell envisions a world where energy scarcity is no longer a limitation, where developing nations can leapfrog traditional infrastructure and access mobility and energy freely. This isn't science fiction. The framework exists, and engineers and hobbyists alike are starting to experiment. Some skeptics might dismiss this as impossible, but the evidence keeps mounting. Independent testers have begun replicating components, and early prototypes have reportedly run for extended periods without traditional charging. The implications are staggering. Imagine entire cities powered by vehicles that generate and sustain their own energy, drastically reducing reliance on fossil fuels and expensive power grids. Even the car's design is unconventional. Every detail, from the placement of energy storage units to the integration of regenerative systems, serves a dual purpose: maximizing efficiency and minimizing waste. The blueprint is a masterclass in engineering creativity, marrying physics, electronics, and sustainability into a single, cohesive system. What's even more fascinating is the ripple effect this technology could have on global energy politics. Countries currently dependent on oil imports could achieve unprecedented energy autonomy. Entire industries might need to rethink their models. And the average person? Suddenly, owning a car could mean owning a personal, portable energy generator. Maxwell's open-source approach is not just a technical statement, it's a social and environmental manifesto. By releasing the design to the public, he's empowering communities, innovators, and small-scale entrepreneurs to rethink transportation and energy simultaneously. The ripple effects could redefine how we move, work, and live. And yet, the blueprint is just the beginning. What comes next is a global experiment in collaboration, adaptation, and innovation. Engineers are already modifying components, optimizing energy loops, and imagining new applications. This is more than a car. It's the first glimpse of a world where energy abundance is possible and where innovation isn't confined to boardrooms or billion-dollar labs. The question now isn't if this technology will work. It's how fast the world can catch up. To understand the true genius of Maxwell's blueprint, we need to look under the hood, or rather, inside the system. At its core, the car relies on a combination of energy capture, storage, and continuous recycling. Think of it like a self-sustaining loop. Energy that would normally be lost as heat or friction is captured and redirected, powering the car without draining an external source. Early prototypes show a fascinating interplay between traditional components and unconventional energy modules. Standard motors and wheels remain, but they're enhanced with devices that harvest ambient energy from the environment. Every motion, every vibration, even temperature differences contributes to the system. In essence, the car becomes a small, mobile power plant. And the beauty of it isn't just in efficiency, it's in accessibility. Maxwell intentionally designed the blueprint so it can be assembled with widely available materials. It's not a secret project buried in some laboratory. It's a blueprint for the people. Engineers in garages, university labs, and even small startups can replicate and improve upon it. This approach could ignite a wave of decentralized innovation the world hasn't seen before. Watching one of these prototypes in motion is almost surreal. The vehicle glides silently, with no fumes, no charging cable in sight. Observers describe it as uncanny, like watching a car that doesn't follow the rules of physics. And yet, every movement is grounded in real science, carefully tested and validated. But the implications go far beyond transportation. If cars like this become mainstream, they could shift the very foundation of how we generate and consume energy. Imagine homes, small businesses, and even entire communities tapping into this network of mobile, self-sustaining energy sources. The traditional power grid could become secondary, or even obsolete in certain regions. Maxwell's blueprint also opens doors to experimentation we've never seen. Engineers are already exploring hybrid designs, coupling the system with solar, wind, and other renewable sources. The goal isn't just mobility, it's creating a resilient, adaptive energy ecosystem. In this world, scarcity and dependence could be replaced with abundance and autonomy. And yet, despite all the excitement, challenges remain. Scaling the technology, ensuring safety, and navigating regulatory hurdles are significant obstacles. But Maxwell's open-source approach could actually accelerate solutions. By making the design public, he invites collaboration from thousands of minds worldwide, each contributing to refining, testing, and improving the system. We're standing on the edge of a potential revolution, a moment where one person's vision could ripple across continents. Maxwell's car is more than a vehicle. It's a blueprint for a future that feels almost impossible today, but might be inevitable tomorrow. As innovators take this blueprint and push it further, the question transforms. How will society adapt to a world where energy is no longer a limiting factor, but a shared, accessible resource? And in that uncertainty lies the thrill, the beginning of a story that's far from over. The first public demonstrations were enough to make even the most skeptical engineers stop and stare. Maxwell's prototype was driven on an open track, with no connection to a power grid, no external battery packs, just the blueprint system at work. Cameras captured every angle, showing the car accelerating smoothly, handling curves with precision, and cruising at speeds that seemed impossible for a self-powered vehicle. Experts in the crowd whispered among themselves. Some called it a breakthrough decades ahead of current EV technology. Others hesitated, questioning the scalability. But as the vehicle completed lap after lap without any visible energy source, doubt slowly gave way to awe. It was a tangible demonstration of what was once considered theoretical. And the reactions weren't just technical. People watching online were mesmerized. Comments flooded social media. This could change everything. Is this even real? We're witnessing history. For many, it wasn't just about the car, it was about what the technology represented. Freedom from dependency on fuel, electricity, and outdated infrastructure. The most fascinating part? The system adapts in real time. Sensors monitor energy output, usage, and efficiency, constantly recalibrating to optimize performance. It's almost like the car is alive, an autonomous energy manager, ensuring no watt is wasted. Engineers noted that this level of self-regulation is rare, even in cutting-edge EVs, making Maxwell's design stand out not just for sustainability, but for intelligence. Meanwhile, small-scale innovators have started experimenting with the blueprint in garages and labs around the world. Some are integrating solar panels on rooftops, others are testing alternative energy capture methods. Every modification feeds back into the open-source community, accelerating progress faster than any corporate R&D could achieve. And then comes the bigger picture: global energy impact. If Maxwell's technology were adopted widely, entire regions could achieve energy independence almost overnight. Cities could run on networks of self-powered vehicles. Remote villages, previously off-grid and isolated, could gain access to sustainable electricity. The blueprint doesn't just promise innovation, it hints at an entirely new way to organize civilization. The critics, of course, remain. Some call it overhyped, others warn of unforeseen technical limits. But the beauty of open source is that the more people challenge it, the stronger it becomes. Every critique, every test, every iteration strengthens the system and proves that innovation thrives under scrutiny. And yet, for all its promise, Maxwell's car also carries a subtle warning: technology alone isn't enough. Adoption, education, and responsible implementation are crucial. A revolutionary design in isolation does little. Its impact depends on the communities, engineers, and visionaries willing to bring it to life. For now, Maxwell's blueprint is a spark, a glimpse of what could be, not a finished reality. But sparks have a way of igniting fires. And if even a fraction of the global engineering community embraces this vision, the next decade could see energy and transportation transformed in ways the world has never imagined. The question isn't whether Maxwell's idea will work, it's how quickly the world is ready to catch up. Even with all its promise, Maxwell's blueprint isn't without challenges. Scaling the technology from a prototype to a vehicle that millions can rely on requires more than genius. It demands infrastructure, resources, and global coordination. Components must be refined for durability, safety protocols need to be ironclad, and production methods must be efficient enough to reach mass adoption. Then there's the question of regulation. Governments and agencies around the world are cautious with disruptive energy technologies. Any vehicle that operates independently of existing grids and fuel systems raises legal, safety, and environmental questions. Maxwell's approach, however, is designed to work within existing frameworks while nudging them toward innovation. It's a delicate balance between disruption and compliance, a dance that could redefine transportation laws globally. But the stakes go beyond politics and logistics. If self-powered vehicles become mainstream, the global energy landscape could shift dramatically. Oil-dependent nations might lose billions in revenue. Electricity grids could face entirely new demands or see reduced strain as communities generate their own power. Even traditional car manufacturers would need to pivot or risk obsolescence. This is more than a technological breakthrough, it's a potential geopolitical earthquake. And yet, the human possibilities are even more compelling. Imagine rural communities with no access to consistent electricity suddenly gaining mobility and power. Emergency services could operate in disaster zones without waiting for fuel deliveries. Entrepreneurs could create local energy hubs powered by fleets of self-sustaining vehicles. Education, healthcare, and commerce could expand in places previously constrained by energy scarcity. Maxwell's blueprint also invites imagination. Engineers are already exploring modular designs, vehicles that can power homes, portable units for medical clinics, and even transport drones that generate and share energy in flight. Every iteration opens new avenues for energy autonomy, creating a ripple effect that could touch every aspect of daily life. Yet, with such revolutionary potential comes responsibility. The world has seen how quickly powerful technologies can be misused or monopolized. Maxwell's open-source philosophy addresses this directly. By sharing the blueprint freely, he democratizes access and invites a global community to innovate responsibly. It's a rare combination of visionary engineering and ethical foresight, giving the world not just a tool, but a movement. And the story doesn't end with cars. Maxwell's energy principles could apply to planes, boats, and even stationary systems. A city powered by self-sustaining vehicles isn't science fiction. It's a near-future scenario that engineers and visionaries are already plotting. The question is no longer if this technology will shape the world, but how far it can go and how fast society is willing to adapt. Every test, every prototype, and every public demonstration builds momentum. Each success inspires another experiment, another innovation, another possibility. Maxwell's blueprint is more than a vehicle. It's a challenge to rethink the very way humanity interacts with energy and mobility. And as we watch this unfold, one truth becomes clear. The future of energy isn't being invented in secret labs or corporate boardrooms. It's happening here, now, in the minds and hands of innovators willing to dream beyond the grid. The first time a self-powered vehicle like Maxwell's hit real roads outside the test track, reactions were instantaneous. Social media exploded with footage of the car gliding silently through city streets, completely untethered from any charging station. People stopped, stared, and recorded, unsure if what they were witnessing was real. News outlets scrambled to verify, and engineers across continents began dissecting every frame, every specification shared online. In small towns with unreliable electricity, residents watched in awe as the vehicle's energy system powered not just the car but external devices, lights, small appliances, and even water pumps. For many, it was a glimpse into a world they had long thought impossible, a world where access to energy isn't a privilege, but a right. Meanwhile, governments and corporations were forced to take notice. Countries with heavy reliance on imported fuel suddenly faced a strategic dilemma: ignore this technology at their own risk, or embrace it and risk destabilizing entire industries. Electric utilities began studying the vehicles as potential energy contributors, imagining fleets of cars feeding excess power back into local grids during peak demand. It was a concept that seemed like science fiction just a few years ago, now becoming a plausible scenario. Entrepreneurs and startups were the first to respond aggressively. Garages turned into experimental labs overnight. Innovators were creating modular attachments, hybrid versions with solar integration, and even small-scale community energy networks built around clusters of self-powered vehicles. Every day brought new prototypes, new breakthroughs, and new proof that Maxwell's open-source vision wasn't just theoretical, it was rapidly becoming a global phenomenon. Even the world's largest automakers were forced into an uncomfortable reckoning. Analysts speculated on how long legacy companies could ignore a technology that threatened to upend supply chains, redefine mobility, and eliminate the traditional notion of refueling stations. In boardrooms from Detroit to Tokyo, executives were quietly studying the open-source blueprint, searching for ways to integrate, or at least adapt, before they were left behind. And yet, the most profound changes were happening at the human level. Rural communities began forming networks where self-powered vehicles became lifelines, transporting medical supplies, powering schools, and providing energy during blackouts. Cities experimented with pilot programs where buses and delivery fleets were fully autonomous, self-sustaining, and interconnected. For the first time, mobility and energy weren't separate commodities. They were part of a unified, self-sufficient ecosystem. Experts warn that we're still in the early chapters of the story. Challenges remain. Mass production, long-term reliability, and global regulation could slow adoption. But what Maxwell's blueprint demonstrates is undeniable. A future where energy scarcity is no longer the rule is not only possible, it's already being tested in real time. The tipping point is approaching. Every viral video, every successful prototype, every open-source contribution pushes the world closer to a moment where self-powered vehicles are no longer experimental curiosities. They are everyday reality. And when that moment comes, the impact won't just be technological, it will be societal, economic, and global in scale. This isn't just a car. This is a movement. A blueprint for a world where energy, mobility, and innovation are no longer confined by limitations. And as the first waves of adoption sweep across continents, one question lingers. How fast can humanity adapt to a world where power is no longer scarce and independence is just a drive away? The truth is, Maxwell's blueprint isn't just a technological marvel, it's a glimpse into a possible future, a future where energy is abundant, mobility is limitless, and innovation belongs to everyone. It challenges the way we think, the way we live, and the way societies function. As more people adopt, experiment, and iterate, the ripple effect will grow. Communities could become energy independent. Cities could rely less on fragile grids. Entire nations could redefine what it means to power themselves. And the most exciting part? This revolution isn't controlled by corporations or governments. It's powered by curiosity, collaboration, and the shared vision of people around the world. Maxwell's open-source car isn't just a vehicle. It's a symbol, a challenge to humanity to rethink limitations, embrace innovation, and imagine a world that was once considered impossible. Every prototype, every experiment, every person who dares to build on this blueprint brings us closer to that reality. So, the next time you think about the future of energy, remember this. The road ahead isn't paved with scarcity, constraints, or convention. It's powered by ideas. It's powered by vision. And if Maxwell's blueprint is any indication, the future might just drive itself.